I'm going to be covering the main menu, but I wanted to indicate that clicking on this icon up here on any screen will take you to the main menu. Make sure that you have completed the information in the appointment edit before you do any thing on the main menu. So you need to enter this reservation information, for example. Then click the main menu. Once you enter the main menu screen, you're looking at the icons that are the primary screens in the main menu. You also have two icons up at the top. One is to exit back to the calendar. Now it is very important that you do not jump directly to any screen going back to the calendar. If you want to go back to the calendar, you have to use this icon. So if you're on a, say the iPad, you want to go back via this icon right here. Attractions and Tours is a special screen that's going to show you things that you can add that are in your local area that are attractions or tours where you may want to have information available to show your clients when they're coming in for an appointment or a stay at your location. On the screen down here, the primary screens are the booking screen. The calendar screen is an additional calendar if you want to keep other calendar notes, say for employees or other information as far as activities that are related to the function of running your establishment. There is room assignments where you're going to actually assign, and this is a portal where you're creating the actual booking over here, and then the room assignments are actually shown, and then down below it there is a listing and a report about the bookings for the room assignment. On this side, the booking listing shows all the listings of the bookings that you've already made, and there is a booking report where it shows information about those, and then the booking portal that shows each individual book line item. This icon here is used to set up the rooms in your organization or building. You would click this and add the information about each individual room, and you'd only have to do that one time to set up the application so that it would know your rooms in your location. You can go back and edit them if you modify the room. For example, if you have a king size bed and you remove it and put two queen size beds in there, that would be a change, and it might change the fee that you're charging for that room. This is the room portal that lists all the individual rooms as far as the listings. So you'd have a listing of all the different rooms and their assignments. The booking UDF, we'll cover that when we get in that screen, but basically these are user-defined fields that if I did not add a field, this gives you the ability to add your own fields with a header and the input field. And this is a listing of all the fields that you create, and each individual record has their own UDF area. Billing is where you're actually billing the client, and that is actually in the booking screen where you're doing it, and this is the information that is a backup to that, where there's a listing and a billing report that is related to the billings that you're doing. Then there's itemized items. This is all the fees or any item that would be in a invoice where you're making charges for it. For example, it could be the room rental. It could be food. It could be a tour. It could be tickets that they're buying through you, or any event or anything where they're paying you at the end of their stay. And then there's a listing of all those items that are items that could be available in the booking screen as an invoiced item. Then there's the actual invoice, the payable invoice, and a long version. This one has a short form where it has 24 lines, so you can have 24 individual chargeable lines or rows. And then this is a long invoice where you can have an infinite number of rows. It print as many sheets as you need for that particular stay, for that particular person's stay, and all the costs that are related to it. The payments area is also coming out of the booking screen, where you actually take payments for the invoice and track those payments, either by looking at them in an invoice listing or in a payment report, where it individualizes each client by a booking ID and their name, and it prints out a report. All of these reports can be used to support either a bookkeeping system or a CPA if they're doing your taxes and all the other information for you. Then there's an expenses screen, which are all the overhead costs that you run into for running your business. And this tracks each one in a portal row by each expense, and then it does it for each month individually. Then there's a listing of each individual month, and then a report by each individual month where you can see the expenses and costs for you to run your establishment. Then there's an employee schedule where you add your employees, and then you can schedule them into your events or whatever's going on as far as them either being maintenance workers or housekeeping or where they may be in your organization. And this gives you the ability to track all the assignments and everything that they're supposed to be doing. That pretty well concludes the main menu screen, with the exception of if you are in a screen and it has an add button OK and a lock that shows it's open, it's OK to add new records. If there's an add no and it's got a kind of a white gray area behind it, that means that you do not add new records in that screen. That is very important. And over here under the developer's website, you can click on this and it'll take you to the developer's website and provide support information on using this application.